live in YouTube.
Live on the YouTube. Okay. Wait, now I gotta go back. I'm not sure what's all going on here. And just a second. All right, we're gonna go.
Yep.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks very much for joining. Sorry, my husband is across from me, and today he's mocking the loudness of my voice. So I will try to be more quiet. Thanks, Brent. You're the best. So thanks, everyone, for joining today. Today is lesson number 7, and we're going to be talking about defensive systems, which I'm actually really excited about again. It's going to be a good one. So with that, I should say, feel free to ask us during any questions during this webinar. And also, it is being recorded. All of our webinars are recorded, and they are online at our YouTube channel. And that's it.
All right.
Take it away.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. This is Alvaro here. So as Andra said, we're going to talk about different systems. But before Marcelo is going to talk about the system themselves. I'm going to talk a little bit about the principles and the concepts behind all the systems. So just to remind a little bit here, futsal, as we said in all the other presentations, we have 4 moments. Today we are talking about defense, the systems, different systems, and then we still have flying goalies to talk in the future, and dead balls or set pieces. Okay, so today defense systems. We are starting just to remind you that all the 4 moments, they happen at the same time. We're just separating them just to make it easier to understand all the 4 moments, but remember that they all are connected, and then they overlap each other during the whole game. That's the dynamic. That's the internal logical, one of the parts of the internal logic of the futsal game. Okay, so going straight to the principles, we want to show you more today about how the players move on the board or on the court later in this presentation. So we are going to go briefly and slightly and fast on this area here. And then if you have any question, no problem, you can send us a question. We are going to answer at the end, no problem at all. Okay, or during the presentation, if you type any question, we can answer. There's no problem. So the principles here, of course, they happen during the game. And as a coach, you need to understand and you need to decide which principles your team is going to do or what they are going to do the most during the game. They can do everything if they are adults normally and high-level players. But don't think that all the kids, for example, and players that are starting to play futsal, they can do this properly at all times. So if you're coaching a kid, pick one, coach that one, and then go to another one, and then another one, and then maybe your players will try to connect and do this properly on the game. Okay, so the first one here is delay. Delay is basically when you lose the ball possession, you need to protect your net. So when you're protecting your net, the idea of delaying the opposition is don't let them progress on the court fast. So stop their attack. Don't let them run fast towards your own net. So what am I explaining here? As a team, we need to draw up and not attack the ball right away. So by delaying, I'm stopping them to progress on the court. So that's one of the principles that your team, as soon as you lose the ball possession, as soon as you are defending, you are holding them and don't let them progress on the court. Okay, so depth or cover, we talk more about cover in futsal. In soccer would be depth. So cover means if I'm playing on the ball, so I'm going to use the board here. So this is my goal. This is my goalie. Okay, so for example, by delay, coming back here, I'm gonna put less players on the board to make it easier to understand. So the blue team is attacking in here. So number 2 here, if he wants to delay, if she wants to delay, instead of attack the ball, she or he is gonna drop and buying time. So number 3 and number 4 can either press the ball or coming back or drop. So as soon as I drop, then now I'm gonna work on cover. So if the ball is here, for example, we don't wanna see something like this, okay? If I'm thinking on cover, I'm thinking on bringing players together in order to, if number 4 in this challenge game here, 1v1 here as a defender, if he gets bit, this guy here, number 3, will try to cover him. So that's the covering system, okay? We're gonna talk more about covering because it's not only a principle, but it's a tactical, technical behavior that we wanna implement in our players. So we're gonna talk a little bit more about this in the future. So balance and shift in is another one. So same example, the ball is here with number 5. That was the picture. To understand cover, I'm by this guy. So if he gets beat or she gets beat in this way, number 3 is there to cover. When we think about shift in a team movement, we are thinking about everybody moving where the ball is. What we are trying to do at all time here is having more players on the same side where the ball is. So that's when we are defending, that's what we want to do at all time. Okay, so let's move us to the next principle, which is concentration or compactness. So meaning same as here. So I want to see my team, for example, moving together, compact, keeping the lines in between them close. I don't want to see teams. I don't want to see the team stretching their lines, stretching their players. So I'm going to be able to cover. I'm going to be able to help my teammates. So that's compactness. That's concentration. And then, of course, we go to the next one, which is defending as a unit. So as you can see, all the principles, they are all together. But if I start with defending as a unit, maybe a kid won't understand. So if I go little by little, step by step, that's why we put this in this sequence here, which for me makes more sense to explain to kids or players how to understand how to defend in a real game. So we are talking about a sub principle, which is a delay. So I can coach someone to delay one player, then I can gather 2 players, a group of players, and then I can play as a team. So those are the 3 ways to work. One individually, groups of players, and then a team, the whole team, 4 outfield players or the 5 players, including the goalie. So this is compactness. This is defending as a unit. So we are working together. If the attacking team shift the ball to the other side, our team is going to work together and move together in order to have more players than the opposition on the same place where the ball is. So here we have 1-3. If the ball goes to the other side, in this mini game here, on the left side of the board, or I think it's your right side, I don't know, it's my left. Left or right? Help me there.
Left.
We're gonna have 2-3 happening there, okay? So that's what we wanna do, having more players than the opposition at all time, okay? Now we're gonna talk a little bit about individual behaviors, tactical and technical behaviors. We slightly talk about a few of them in here when we spoke about the principles, but right now is some of the things that I want to see my players doing during the game when we are defending. So what am I expecting to see a player doing when we are defending, when my team is defending? Again, maybe I can pick all of them. We have more. We put some, only a few of them. But in this part here, what we are gonna share is things that it's pretty much the way you want to see your team defending. So I want to see my team pressing the ball at all time. We lose the ball possession. Now we are defending. I want to see them pressing the ball right away. Boom. We're going to get the ball back. That's one behavior you want your players to achieve. But we have more things that we can talk about. So let's go here. So the first one is press the ball, or either to steal or make the opposition make a mistake. So by defending, I don't need to steal the ball at all time. So number 2 here represents the first line of defenders because he is the first one. The ball is here with number 4. So this guy here, maybe, I don't want to see this guy attacking the ball, jumping here, diving here to win the ball, because maybe he's going to be off balance. And then by being off balance, it's going to be easy to number 4, maybe beat him. So now we are going to have, remember, 3 versus 2. So instead of having in this mini game here 2 versus 3, now we are down 1 player, and then the opposition is playing 3 versus 2. So this guy needs to drop. So what am I going to say here is this guy is going to press the ball, is going to walk or run towards the ball on balance, and push number 4, for example, to play the ball where he wants. So maybe this guy is approaching and attacking the ball, not to steal the ball, but to make this guy make the bad decision and mispass the ball, or maybe this guy miscontrol the ball. So then in a second moment, someone will get the ball. So that's one of the tactical behavior. You can talk to your players and them to understand that defending is not only stealing the ball at all time, but defending is basically protecting the net. Don't let them shoot. Don't let them score. Defending is not avoiding them to move up on the field. And we are doing this. Okay, they are in their finishing zone here, but now they cannot shoot. So if I make them make a mispass the ball here, and then maybe number 3 gets the ball, now we finish our defense moment. Now let's attack. Okay? Other concept or behavior that maybe we would like to implement. So for example, you can say your players, look, when we are defending, if your player, so number 2 is checking number 4 in this example, if she plays the ball and move up, you can say, hey, you need to follow your player. Follow your player. Or you can coach your players and don't let them follow, but number 4, play the ball, move this way. Number 2, start dropping, and then there will be a communication here. Number 3, you're going to say, hey, stay, switch. And then maybe number 3 will follow the ball here, and number 4 will be followed by number 3. So they are changing defense. They're changing their check. Okay, so now I'm checking number 4. Now, Andrea or Marcelo, you're going to take care of him. I'm going to follow the ball because in that play, that was the best. There was a communication there. We practiced that, so we know how to do this. Okay, in this half second, they can score. So we need to understand, do we want to do this? We need to practice this. Okay, at all time, moving forward here, at all time, a defender needs to keep a few things on his or her side. So I need to look at my check at all time, and I need to look at the ball at all time. I cannot lose those 2 references during the game. Because if I look at my player and don't look at the ball, I can't see where the ball is. I can see what's happened behind me. So something similar to this. So number 4 is checking number 3, but this player here cannot see what's going on behind him because he or she is focused only on his check. Okay, so maybe this guy is going to move here and move there, and then there will be a pass. Done. 1-0 for them, 1-0. So we need to keep ball and player all the time on our side to understand and try to think ahead of what this guy is gonna do. So that's keep the ball on your side. Okay, balance. When I am approaching here, to get this ball, I'm gonna run and then shuffle. If I go straight and dive in this guy here, in this player here, with a simple fake movement, he or she is gonna beat me. So I need to be on my side. I need to bend my knees. I need to be on my toes. And then I can attack the ball. Remember, either to steal the ball or to force that player to make a mistake. So they are all interconnected if you think like that, okay? There we go. I know that maybe this guy here, he's not a good shooter, but this guy is a good shooter because we studied their team. So we know our opposition. So I don't want to see this guy kicking the ball in this zone. But this guy, maybe there's no problem, or we're going to have less problem with this guy. So this is a strategy that I know. So I'm going to tell my players, and we are going to practice that. We're going to make them, we're going to push them to play towards that player. So for example, number 4 here, he's or she's going to slightly step in between number 3 and number 2. Remember, number 2 is the one we don't want to see shooting. Number 4, maybe we want to see his shooting. There's no problem, or less problem. So by doing so, I'm going to make these guys play on that side where I want. So I am pushing them to play on my left side, on their left side, actually. And then here we are going to have, look, 2 players, 1 to check, 1 to cover, and buying time for number 4 to drop. Okay, so that's what we are saying here, pushing the players, pushing the opposition to play where you want. You are making them to play where you want. You're giving them, you are trapping them to a part or a zone of the court where you have a better chance to block a shot or steal that ball. And you are avoiding them to play with their best player. Okay, help, cover, and overlap cover. They are pretty much the same thing. Pretty much help and cover are pretty much the same thing. So this is a good example of cover. We talked about this briefly before. So number 3 is approaching to number 4. Number 2 is covering, because if number 4 comes here, he's going to block the shot or try to get the ball. If it goes that way, he can go. And then when we talk about overlap cover, that's what we are doing. So we have number 3 checking number 4. Remember, our number 4 here is going to take maybe 1-2 seconds to drop behind the ball line. So if he goes this way, this guy gets beat. So the cover will play. And then now number 4 is dropping here to make an overlap. So this guy is the first cover. That one is the second one. So they are overlapping the cover system, the covering system. So, and then number 3 can either double mark here or drop to make another covering system. Okay? Everything will happen only if the defenders drop behind the ball line. So to have success, to defend well, we need the 4 outfield players playing behind the ball line. So in this example here, if number 3 plays the ball deep on the court, up on the court, and move up, I'm not expecting number 4 staying here as a striker, a soccer striker. In futsal, remember, everybody needs to defend. So in this case here, we are not playing with more players than the opposition. We are outnumbered because number 4 decided not to drop. So we need to drop in a way where I can help the other 2 players in this example here to defend our net. Okay? When you talk about individually and this battle here, 4 versus 3, for example, so if I want to get the ball here, if I want to attack the ball, if I want to defend properly, I need to put pressure on number 4. But remember, I don't need to attack the ball to steal the ball. I can put pressure, I can attack the ball to force them to make a mistake, to force them to play the ball where I want, to force them to pass the ball where I have a better chance to win that ball, or make them play the ball out of the field. Okay? So I don't want to give them time and space. So if I give the ball carrier time and space, then he's going to think, she's going to think she can do whatever she wants, because normally futsal players need to have a good relationship with the ball. So they can score from here, they can find a good pass there, they can run and change direction and then beat the defender with one movement. So we cannot give them time and space. We need to put pressure on the ball. So the best way to do is bend your knee, shuffle, put one step, one leg ahead, 1 foot ahead, and then play on your toes at all time. So if you're doing this, if you're not flat, if you're not facing them with your legs spread, you are going to have a chance to win that ball. And then you need to keep the ball and the player at all times. So look at the ball, look at the player at all times. So those are the tacticals, individually speaking, the tacticals movements you need to understand when you are approaching a player to get the ball, to steal the ball. Okay? Defensive challenging. This is a defensive challenge. So in this 1v1 example here, number 3 is challenging number 4. He's the defender. So defensive challenging is because of that. So I need to play this defensive challenge, especially when we are by our net. So remember, we have only 1 hour today. So the things are fast. We haven't talked, we didn't have time to talk about zones on the court, but I can tell that in this zone here, by my net, I don't want to see players kicking the ball. I need to block their shot, okay? In this zone here, they can pass the ball. I'm going to be tight. I don't want to see them thinking. I don't want to let them thinking, but they can have a bit of a circulation on the ball. But if they are here, I need to challenge this ball. I need to block their shot. I can't let them kick. I can't let them play, okay? And then floating, it's like a cover. So it's pretty much like a cover. They are connected. So I'm going to float. Number 3 is facing number 4. Even if we decide to man mark, Marcelo is going to talk about this in a minute. If we decide to man mark like this, first things first, we didn't drop. So number 4 didn't drop behind the ball line. So as number 2. So if you want to think about floating, my team needs to drop and shift and float towards the ball line. So then I'm defending properly. If I play this ball here, number 3 cannot score from there, or she has a less chance to score because it's too far away, okay? Thinking on next moment. I think this is one of the most, how can I say, advanced concepts or principle or technical behaviors we are expecting from a player. So by next moment, what I'm trying to suggest here, or I'm trying to explain is this. Okay, here's the picture. Number 4 is by himself playing versus 3 plus goalie. What is he can do? If he moves inside, what's the next moment? What can he do next? Can he kick the ball? Can he play the ball cross? If this guy is there and then this guy is here, what is the next moment? Am I going to block the shot? Am I going to block the pass? What am I going to do next? So as a defender, I need to understand that the ball is there, but the other players are behind me, maybe, or ahead of me. So what can I do to get that ball, to trap them? I need to think ahead, like a chess game. I need to think ahead all the time, okay? Defensive triangles. So during this presentation, including right now, we are creating triangles at all time to defend, at all time to defend. So the triangles are in there to protect the net. Why? To facilitate the covering system, to facilitate if someone gets beat, the other one can get there and help and support. Another thing, the triangles can help you to do this. If they are in our defense zone, in zone 1 here, I can tell my players, is another way I can talk to my players is I can double mark. I can double mark the player. So I can attack the ball. But this happened because we have a triangle here. Maybe I can drop from here. But if I have the triangle set there at all time, first, we're going to have more players than them. 2 versus 3 where the ball is. Okay, and then I can try to double mark if this is something that you like as a coach. Okay, and of course, everything is gonna happen only if we have a good communication. So the changing or following your check, the floating, the triangles, the next moment, the way we are going to progress as a defender, when is a trigger for us to attack the ball? So for example, we are not going to have time to talk about triggers, but one of them in defending, just to give you an example, is, for example, if number 3 here has the ball and she plays the ball across, maybe a bad pass here behind number 2, and then number 2 receives this ball facing her net. So maybe this guy here, or he's the closest one, he saw was a soft pass, and then he saw that this player here controls the ball facing her own net. So maybe now it's time to attack the ball. Who can help this player number 4, number 2, and number 3 by saying, go, go, press, high press, go, 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 go. And then we're going to try to stop their attack by blocking the other options and don't giving options to whoever has the ball possession. So communication is very important at all time. Okay, even when you are attacking or when you are defending in this case here. Is that okay? So thank you very much. Now Marcelo is going to go. So you're going to see that all these principles and behaviors, Marcelo is going to talk a little bit during the formation and try to imagine which principle or each behavior could you implement in your game.
We are in, okay. Hi. No? Are you okay, Alvaro?
Always.
You are in the, I just share you close my.
I'm sorry.
You close my marking zone, okay. So about defense, I really like the defense situation in futsal. I am a defense coach and I remember when I coach soccer, sometimes my teams has 2 versus 1, but you have the cover in the back. And the guys understand this. So main marking is the easiest way to play. It's the easiest like for the kids, but even they have a good teams, they do main marking. You just choose one player, I call little friend, and I used to say for the player, oh, just your little friend, follow him, enjoy the life. But the Brazilian national team, they are doing this, the main marking. So when you say that the main marking, hold down, you can see, and you share now. So can you see here? What you can see?
Mostly your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, just your screen.
Just the screen. Okay. It's big. Okay. So main marking. The Brazilian national team is doing main marking full court. So imagine Brazil is in the pink here. If can you see now? If the goalie has the ball. If he pass the ball here, the guy pressure. If he pass back here, runs, the guy follow him until the end. So you need to be prepared to run, a good shape. You need to do this. But there is a problem. If the guy beat you, the guys needed to cover. So they are ready to run and watch the game. Because if this guy escape here, become 2 versus 3. If they don't come here to attack the ball, they delay to this guy to come back. So it's a main marking, very organized. Brazil is doing very well when play versus the games. So it's a good situation about. We have a half main marking. When you go like the half court, So if blue is half, imagine the player here. So this guy passed the ball, move, the guy follow him until the end. Oh, you can see the camera. It's good? You can see? So
Yeah,
the
it's
guy
good.
has the ball here. The guy move, pass the ball. So when the guys go in the half court, they do. And you have the mix. That's very popular, is the zone and individual. That's very popular. What's the mix? Imagine you have a number 4 is a big kid, a big guy, a little fat guy. He play as a striker, he play pivot. The team play 3-1. Okay? Is the guy the reference. But when the team is without the ball, he needs to return. But he cannot do in main marking. Why? Remember, he's a big guy. Betão, Serjão. Brazil has good players like this. The guys are big guys and the guys play. And you cannot play just forward. You cannot play when you have the ball possession. The guys have to stay on the court. So what's happened? Number 5. Imagine. Number 4 is the striker. They pass the ball. The guy move. Number 2 is moving here. Pink. He drop until someone say to him to stay. So he gonna stay. And this guy got the ball. So he always go in step. So remember, this is the big guy here. If the guy pass, go, you're gonna drop it with the guy until the communication who is in the back to switch. So it works, but there is a problem. If you have fans around and you have a lot of noise, it's more difficult to this communication. So in many games, I know in Brazil, you have sound, a lot of sound, a lot of drums, a lot of noise. So what's happening is sometimes this guy, he pushed the guy in the back. Go there. He pushed, so the guy dropped, go there. It's the same team, help the guy to doing. And of course, this guy is very important to attack, but he cannot be useless as a when he is defending. No. We have a question here. I want to see more examples in video, Mari. Say, Mari, there's no. I'm gonna let him about Brazil, Mari, videos. You can see any game Brazilian national team. You're gonna see main marking. Any game Brazilian national team, and you're gonna see like you have half individuals sometimes, depending of the game you're gonna watch. It's not a situation that the teams they play. So Marquinhos Xavier is the Brazilian national coach. His team, Carlos Barbosa, used to do this. And Brazilian national team is doing. Not now because of the coronavirus, but you can find in YouTube about the was idea, or I can send to you after about the idea about the main marking. The point is, little kids, I suggest to do main marking. NBA is a main marking rule. So when you do the practice main marking, makes the guys to go one by one, to face one by one. So for the practice is a good point, and it's a good to keep on shape, like main marking, full court. Kids love to do this. Kids love, but it's something that you play 2 or 3 minutes because they are moving every time, and you have this. So we have my PowerPoint. Okay. We are in zone main marking. We go 1-2-1. Everybody can see. So 1-2-1. So blue team is defending. They cover the center. This system is good when you face a flying goalie. No? It's not easy to apply, but the guys can practice. So you cover the center for the guy shooting. The guy tried to block. So the player drop. So they try to block. What's the problem for this system is if the guy is open square, the system, they don't know what to do. They face troubles. Why? If the guy pass the ball here, across, if the guy step forward, the guy has a problem to approach. If the guy pass faster, they're gonna come here. This guy gonna cover, but the ball go the other side. The guy score. Create 2 versus 1 in the back. So they create a little problem for this. This is a system they used to play more in the 80s. Sometimes in the 90s, you can see some teams. Depend the level of the team they play. Depend the size of the court. A small court, you can do 1-to-1, a small court. Big court is more difficult because they pass the ball outside. So remember, flying goalie, you're gonna do this for sure, defense, because they have an extra player and you have to make the zone. We're gonna talk about quadrante. Quadrante is a new system. Ferretti is the coach that started doing the quadrante. Most of the teams, they know how to do now about the defense. Is more or less active, the situation. So imagine number 2, he forces this guy to go outside. He blocked the guy to go outside. These guys come this way here, the guy come here, and the guy here. So they force, when the guy try to dribble the ball, this guy attack the ball. In Brazil, they boom the ball and they celebrate. Yeah! Because they are making the guy to do a mistake. If the other team is playing 3-1, how are you going to shape the quadrante? The guy attack again to force the guy go one side. So he forced the guy. He's not come in the middle of the player. He go beside the player. He go beside the player to force the player come this way. And now you adjust the quadrante. So it looks like a square that's not a square all the time. So that's why the point. And this guy is flowing this way. This guy is flowing this way. The guy comes from this way. It's not like to try to steal the ball. It's to force the guys to lose the ball when they try to go to score. So it's a half court, and you can organize this. After you have, this is the why, you say why, Andrea?
What? I don't know. Why? Was it or not a
Why
why?
was the letter in English?
Was letter the why? I don't know.
Why? This they use a lot in Brazil for the little ones. The little ones that they do this why. They are not allowed to throw the ball over the half. So what's happened? If the blue team gonna attack, the little kids, they organize this way. So the goalie cannot throw the ball over the half. So they needed to pass the ball here. They have some touches on the ball. I think 2 touches on the ball until to pass the half. So they do this until U11. What's the point, Alvaro?
No, this is in São Paulo. I think other states, because the states in Brazil, they have freedom to change for the young ones, change the rules. So this is in São Paulo, what you are describing right now, exactly what's happening in São Paulo.
Yeah, it's exactly like the guys, they do this. So the coach teach the kids. Yeah, and what's happened when they pass the ball, the guys attack the kids. They know the guy. So what's the guy learning here is to boom the ball, touch the ball and boom the ball. So they
So
learn.
can I ask, is that the right thing to be learning?
We need to adapt. We need to adapt. Like I think if this guy could use the goalie, is a good rule to keep the goalie. Second, the guys are talking to lower the crossbar because the net is the same size for adult.
Oh, okay.
So for U9, U8,
Yeah.
U7, Brazil gonna organize the U9 Brazilian national
Yeah.
national championship.
Oh,
U9
wow.
futsal. Yeah.
Wow.
So imagine they have to wow. So they have to think why now the kids are doing the ball. So they try to change if this goalie can receive the ball anytime or every time, like every ball possession. I think you have to make it easier for the guys to build because for the kids, they don't go to multiply the first math exercise. They go plus, minus. It's a step by step. It's a process. And I think like it's better to them to understand the game. And of course, many situations in the game, we can talk like some teams U9, they are doing 4-0, they play well, but it's few teams they can do everything as U9, U8. Most of the teams they cannot play, and if you cannot throw the ball, you're gonna cry in the back. I remember I coach a team when you have this rule, and if you block the players like this way, and the team don't know what to do, or the goalie is not good to find someone, the goalie gonna throw the ball, or the goalie start to cry because he has no solution. The player is not a good team when I was facing. I feel sad now because I did this, but.
Okay, but aren't you kind of teaching those kids by doing that way bad habits? Because the only reason I'm saying that is because we see that in Canada, right? We see that where kids boot the ball. So aren't you kind of teaching them to boot the ball when you're not really teaching them passing?
What the coach is doing, they survive with this. For good teams, they survive. What's happening?
Okay.
Have this, the guy's going, this guy left footer.
Yeah.
So when the guy drop the ball, the guys escape to take the balance. This guy, the guy come left footer here to receive the ball. First he control the ball, this guy escape here, boom, the ball, they create two.
Okay.
Good teams, they're gonna do this.
Okay.
They're gonna do this. They're gonna rotate. They're gonna survive. But 80% of the teams no.
Okay.
So you have like a lot of divisions.
Yeah.
And you find solution. And of course, our discussion today, this week about this, it was with a good coach in Brazil, Batata, and he was talking about this. We need to change. We have to change the rules. We need to adapt for the kids more. I agree totally. We have to adapt. So this why it depends how, if you're losing the game, if the other team don't know how to start the game, and of course, you need to talk because if you play adult, and some teams, they try to do this, if one guy come this way here, this guy has to check. If the guy go here and the goalie can throw the ball, done.
Okay.
Done, because this guy's going to stay here.
Yeah.
And this guy going to run. Done. Doesn't work. So the guy can throw the ball. That's the point. If you can throw the ball, it's different. And I jump pendulum. Oof. This is a very, very particular defense. Paulinho Cardoso, I talked to him Wednesday. This is the coach, professional coach. He invented this pendulum. So what I know, different than quadrant, the guy's weight, the guy make and force the guy. Pendulum force the guy to make the mistake. So he forced the guy, this guy jump here, this guy is watching inside, because if the guy drop to make 1-2, if this guy is in this line here, to force this guy think he can pass here. So he go this way. So we call pendulum, because this guy here make the cover. So is normally the ball outside. So this guy drop to come this way. And this guy here. So this guy is watching inside if he saw the guy. Yes, Alvaro, not outside.
Normally they give the first movement.
The first movement.
Paulinho normally gives the first movement and then let the opposition think they are playing the way they like to. And then there will be always, this is the main concept, there will always only one player pressing the ball or pushing the ball, and then 3 covers. And then he is gonna always force the guys to play outside. But then remember, Paulinho Cardoso is the way he understands the game is outstanding. So he's a very good coach and a very good mind and brain as a human being. So if you understand that the players play better from outside and then they have good key shooters, maybe for that game, he's going to change the concept and force the guys to play inside. But basically the pendulum is one guy pressing the ball and 3 covers. And 3 covers. That's the basic one. Give the first movement, let them play, let them make their first movement, second movement, that let them think they are playing, and we are not defending properly, we are off balance, and then we are going to make them play where we want, and then in that zone we are going to get them. So the principles that we talked in the past during the beginning of the presentation, they are coming here on Marcelo's speech and this explanation about the pendulum here. Another thing he does, Marcelo, is, for example, you have your board. I think everybody can see my board here. So if the number 3 here is attacking the ball, so if number 3,
Alvaro, move it down.
My
okay. Board camera can see. Yeah. That's better.
So there you go. If number 3 is pushing the ball here, and then maybe number 4 is playing back there, or he retreats and move backwards. Remember the communication? So one thing that he does is, if number 3 steps twice, these guys will step once towards the ball. So this way they are going to keep compact the system. They're going to keep everybody together. So this is the same principle. Ball is here. Number 2 now is the guy that is pushing the ball. We need 3 covers. If he steps twice, 1, 1, 1. If the ball is here, they circulate the ball. Then number 3 is that, forget the shape here, okay? We're not focused on the shape here. This guy push the ball. This guy is a cover, and then this guy is making the cover here. So basically, when you talk with Paulinho Cardoso, as we have a few classes with him in the past, that's basically what he's going to explain. If you understand this, maybe you can create something and adapt to your reality, because we are talking about high-level players in Brazil and some of the national team players doing this sort of defense. Okay, so this is a very good system and is a very good coach.
Yeah, good that he invented. And I think my point is the defense is something that you decide and you can copy and you can organize by yourself. How you're going to play. You're going to do like one man marking and the other guys by zone. You can do box. You can, depending how is your game, how the situation, but must be organized. Practice your methodology, organize your team for one defense. You cannot have like 4 different situations. The kids need to understand, the players need to understand, oh, you have this and that. We're gonna play quadranti and you're gonna do main mark. That's the option. And you're gonna check what's better for you is what's better for the other game. Last year you traveled to Brazil, you start with quadrants. First goal the guys score, it was this. The guy here decided to pressure the ball. Look, Andrea. guys, you don't understand? The guy here, he was anxious because nobody was pressured. So he decided, we have a video for here. He decided, the guy was good player. He passed, the guy covered, pass. They scored 1-0. Argentina team. We won after. Not this game. This game we lost. But and we changed for main marking. For main marking. As soon the goalie passed the ball, everyone check your player, make the foul if the guy beat you. Let's do main marking. Let's do main marking. It's
So Marcelo, a question for you. So when you're coaching young kids, is man marking the best one to do? Okay.
I do main marking. Main marking. Little ones?
Yeah.
Main marking. Follow the player. Follow the player.
Not only is the best, and actually for us, I think is the best because you make the kid understand how important he is following the player and understanding that he has a role in that court. Because if he's only covering a part of the court at the early ages, he's going to lose something very important, that is where the opposition is. So his reference is going to be the zone. But kids are not that abstract. They need some concrete things to understand what they're going to do. Okay, I'm trying to find the words here in English.
Yeah, of course.
So it's easier to follow a player or to check a player and understand where the ball is. So you need, because for them, this is abstract. Play behind the ball line. Most players will look at you and say, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay.
So, this is abstract. So, but when you put him and show them where the ball is, and then you draw a line on the court, then they will start understanding this concept. But checking the player, man marking the player is the best way to start developing any team sport, any invasion games.
Okay.
So you have two questions. It's the same. One in English, one in Portuguese.
Yeah, I know. One in English and one in Portuguese.
No, they do not understand, but it's a different. The first is, do you think that the amateur environment where the players are that fit the mixed zone and main marking is the best solution? Where is the amateur environment? In Brazil? Easy. This is in Canada. I think the guys are not good shape. If they practice, they can do it. They can do it. Like you mix main marking. Mix main marking like in the back, make by zone. So the guy follow the player until the end. I think until someone say to you, switch. You don't make the defender runs forward. You don't make the forward runs towards the back too much. And let's say provincials. He's talking about the Canada. Let's say provincials. Provincials is a good example. The provincials tournament can be main marking and in the back, but you need to understand. Imagine you are losing the game. Anyway, the guy's gonna attack. They don't have a patience to pass the ball. They're gonna send the ball to you. Don't worry. So you can do main marking if you coach a team to play the provincials to qualify to the national. You can do like the zone main marking. You'll be very nice team that understand this. And you ask about the why you cannot use an adult. You cannot use an adult. I'm talking about the guys know the game because the guy can throw the ball the other side and why. But you can do the why to make the team to pass to the weak player. But normally the weak player, he's gonna control the ball using the inside his foot and the ball gonna run to you. So this is a good trigger to understand the game is your team gonna pressure the player that always, instead to use the bottom, is use inside. So as soon he touch the ball inside, the ball gonna run, you're gonna attack the guy. And if you have someone strong, that's a good player to challenge the ball. I'm gonna say to you, I have a striker. She's not a good to control the ball. So my goalie used to throw the ball and the defender the other team, not in my striker. So imagine my striker number 3, 5 is a defender. So my goalie, she throw the ball directly for this player, the other team.
Marcelo, we cannot see.
You
the
cannot see?
higher
Oh, sorry,
parts,
sorry,
the
sorry.
higher parts. Yeah, better. Well done.
Okay. So imagine the goalie, you have the striker, you have the team. The blue team is here is attacking. The goalie get the ball. Instead to the goalie pass for this player, the same team, she throw the ball for this player. Why? Because when the player try to control this player, steal the ball. Of course, she was champion jiu-jitsu player. She was athlete as a jiu-jitsu. And she was soccer futsal player too. Strong. So makes difference a lot in the women's game. But she's not a good to control this ball because the distance. So that I create something adapt to my team. So you're gonna rotate when the ball goes to her, go to the defender of the team, she's gonna steal the ball from the defender.
Marcelo, can I, if I may?
Yeah.
Thiago, only just to complement what Marcelo was saying about your first question, yes, you can mix. Some coaches, what they do is on their attacking course, they do, for example, individual. And then when the opposition brings the ball to our defense court, then we're going to do zone, for example. This is something you can practice. If you have a good team, like if you have 8 players that you have decent players on your roster, you can change them 4x4 and then force them to play the whole court like every 3-4 minutes. You rotate them in and out. So you're going to try to keep the same fitness level on the court. Okay. And talking about the why, thinking on the provincials, on the Canadian national tournament, most of the teams, if you can see here, most of the teams, when they are starting from their goalie in a goal clearance, what they normally do, what we saw there was this: goalie plays straight to the striker.
Yeah.
One thing that we would be doing this year there would be the why. Because in this shape here, look, this is their striker. If he controls the ball here, he has someone behind, someone's gonna put pressure here. So normally that was the shape they were playing there. So 3 in the back, and then the goalie was throwing balls there. And then of course, this guy would sprint. That was the way they were playing. So why would help? And of course, you need to build up over this. This guy needs to follow, this guy needs to follow. Remember, in this case here, why was only the organization. When the ball is moving, you can keep the shape, you can keep the principles to create those triangles where the ball is, or maybe you can say, okay, that's the shape, and then as soon as they throw the ball, follow your players. You need to find your players. So this guy would check there, check here, maybe double mark. If he plays behind, we have the man marking system here. And then you go from there. So yes, you can mix them. If you ask Paulinho Cardoso, Pêndulo, last year in January when we took the license with him in Brazil, Marcelo and I, he was saying that Pêndulo was a mixed defense, not zone, not man marking, but both. And he could do that the whole court. So just to complement a little bit. Thanks, Marcelo.
Thank you. So done? Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Does anyone have any other questions?
Aleito, I have it here. Marquinhos Xavier, justify the model, the pressure. Yeah, so he's talking about the Marquinhos Xavier, the national coach, said when the conception of the game is when the guy has the ball and he has space, he's attacking. When he has the pressure against him, he cannot attack. So he start to try to hold the ball, to shield the ball. So that's one conception about Marquinhos Xavier that Ayrton sent to us. Thank you, Ayrton. You have more one here? Yeah, I'll roll this. Thank you, Ayrton.
I
Very
think
good.
Thiago want to ask something. He rose his hand.
Yeah, I was muted there. Yeah, I think Tiago wants to ask something.
Open your mic and
Let's see. Okay. Oh, wait. He's muted himself.
He muted himself.
Yep.
He's in Manitoba, so he's feeling cold, Winnipeg. It's minus something there. Thiago, are you okay?
Nobody knows. I don't know.
so
Thiago, you have to do. You mute yourself. You mute yourself. One mute. You know this sign here, Thiago, about like a microphone.
Yeah, I can't unmute him.
You can
I
help him.
don't know. It's not working.
Not
It's okay.
working. Thiago, you can. You have.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Where is he?
Just a second here.
My computer frozen. I said he's in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I clearly, I don't know. Something's going on.
I didn't know whether to raise.
Oh, okay. So he's asking a question.
My computer froze.
Okay.
He's in Winnipeg. I said.
Yeah, there you go.
Frozen. It's frozen. Okay.
All right. Well, that was great. Thanks, guys. What's the next one? I looked it up. Flying goalies.
Flying goalie.
Flying goalies.
Talk about power play.
Ooh,
Power play, flying goalie.
flying goalies.
Right.
That's good.
All right.
Thank you,
Cool.
everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.